Sophia had always been the quiet one, the one who smiled politely but never quite belonged. She often found herself admiring from the sidelines, watching others with their effortless charm, their laughter, their ease. Among these people was Clara. Clara, with her radiant beauty, her magnetic personality, and her ability to make everyone feel seen and heard. She had a way of turning even the dullest evening into something special. But it wasn't just her charm that Sophia envied. It was the way Clara lived, bold, unafraid, unapologetically herself. Clara had a gift for everything, for making friends, for attracting attention, for being adored. Sophia's life was a quiet mirror in comparison, one that reflected her own failures, her solitude, her unspoken desires. Clara never noticed the envy, at least not in the way Sophia felt it. She would laugh with Sophia, listen to her, offer her advice, sometimes in a way that made Sophia feel like she could almost become like her. But it was never enough. Clara's light was too blinding, her world too wide, and Sophia felt herself shrinking in its presence. It wasn't long before Clara met someone new, a man named Ethan. He was tall, handsome, and attentive, everything Sophia wasn't. At first it was harmless. Clara, in her usual way, brought him into their small circle. He was kind to Sophia, smiled at her, made her feel included. But as the days passed, the way he looked at Clara, the way he spoke to her, the way his eyes lingered just a little too long, something inside Sophia began to twist. Ethan liked Clara, not in the way he liked Sophia. He would never look at her the way he looked at Clara. Sophia knew it, felt it with every glance they exchanged, every laugh that rang louder when Clara spoke. It wasn't just jealousy now. It was something darker, something that twisted in her gut like a knife. One night, they were all at Clara's apartment, sitting on the balcony drinking wine, the city lights flickering below them. Clara was telling a story, her voice rich and full of life as usual. Ethan was hanging on her every word, his hand resting lightly on her knee. Sophia sat a little apart from them, holding her glass a little too tightly, staring at the way their bodies seemed to fit together so naturally. And then, without warning, it happened. Clara leaned in, brushing her lips against Ethan's cheek. A soft, affectionate gesture. But in that moment, it was more than affection. It was confirmation. Ethan's smile deepened, and he moved a little closer to Clara, brushing her hair back. He didn't even notice Sophia's stillness. Sophia's breath caught in her throat. The jealousy surged up, suffocating, uncontrollable. In that moment she wanted to tear Clara away from him, to erase that look of perfect, radiant happiness. But she didn't know how to express it, didn't know how to make Clara see her, to feel her pain. The bottle of wine was still on the table, half empty. Sophia's fingers trembled as she reached for it. She didn't think. She never thought. Her mind was clouded, her thoughts spinning. In one swift motion she grabbed the bottle and slammed it down onto the balcony railing, the glass shattering. Clara turned sharply, startled. Ethan looked at Sophia, frowning. For a split second, time slowed. "Sophia, what's wrong?" Clara asked, her voice light, almost amused. Sophia didn't answer. She didn't know what to say. The words wouldn't come. She was trapped in a storm of emotion, an overwhelming need to stop this, to make Clara feel as small and insignificant as Sophia felt all the time. Without thinking, she lunged. The glass shard was sharp and jagged, and it found its mark with terrifying precision. Clara's eyes widened in shock, her breath escaping in a gasp as she stumbled back. Ethan shouted, but the words didn't reach Sophia. She watched, almost as if from a distance, as Clara crumpled to the ground, blood staining the floor of the balcony. For a long moment everything was silent. The world outside continued, oblivious. Sophia stood over Clara, frozen. Her heart pounded in her chest, the realization settling like a cold weight in her stomach. She had done it. She had crossed the line. She had killed the one person she had always envied. Ethan rushed to Clara's side, screaming her name, but Sophia couldn't move. She was paralyzed, rooted to the spot, the horror of what she had done washing over her in waves. And then, in the dim light of the balcony, as the blood pooled around Clara's lifeless body, Sophia understood. It wasn't love. It wasn't even a craving for attention or admiration. It was the unbearable weight of being invisible, of watching someone else live a life she could never touch. And in that one moment, Sophia had taken that life, convinced that if Clara was gone, she could finally be seen. But now, all that was left was the hollow echo of her actions, the realization that in her desperate bid to be noticed, she had erased everything she had ever wanted, and she would live with that silence forever. Like, comment, and subscribe for more. Make the background music dark, haunting.